If we are at war, although it's a different war because we're at war with a non-state actor, a terrorist organization, is it all that surprising that this circumstance will call forth the most vigorous aspect of presidential power?
Have these tactics made us safer? And I would submit that they have not. That they have failed to make us safer, and they have also failed to maintain our status on the world stage as a leader of a democratic country.
I thought it was a very interesting debate. I think everyone did a really great job addressing their points. I think everyone made a lot of statements that a lot of people didn't think about before, and maybe now people have a little bit more information to better form their opinions, and I think that that's a really important thing, and I think that's kind of the purpose of a debate, is to be more educated about all different aspects.
Yay! The majority of people walking by this corner right now are opposed to torture. They very much support our stand. Yet we need to reach out farther and broader, and we need millions of people taking a stand visibly on this.
This isn't an issue of academic freedom. It's not an issue of John Yoo is allowed to speak his claim here. It's that I think that's immoral, and Chapman as a community should also believe that. As global citizens, we cannot torture and call ourselves global citizens. We can't.
1 million dead Iraqis for absolutely nothing.
So the conclusions of the memos are much more carefully reasoned, much more grounded in precedent, the text of the Constitution, the relevant statutes, far-reaching statutes, even the definition of torture, looking at European conventions and Israeli conventions and court decisions, than I think you get from the front pages of our nation's newspapers. And I think that does a disservice to the team of people.
Personally, I just thought how both sides articulated their points when it came to Rosenthal and Professor Dahmer going after the Fourth Amendment and due process, and then you have the other side talking about trying to interpret the statute their way.
The memos are about legal interpretation. They're not about policy. They don't urge the policymakers to take any particular course of action. They're quite upfront about that.
All unreasonable search and seizure is prohibited. There's not an exception for the military. There's not an exception for terrorism.
I'm afraid that because of the 9/11 attacks, we were confronted with situations where we thought that there were exigent circumstances where we thought Al-Qaeda in the months after 9/11 was going to carry out follow-on attacks on our country and its citizens.
How effective is a tactic that you have to use 266 times?
Lively debate. I mean, everyone's views got aired. I mean, it was exposed. The people yelling in there is fun, but I mean, really exciting.
Because I actually skipped out on my Shakespeare class to come here, so half of my Shakespeare class is in there, listening to the debate instead of going to class, so that was kind of cool. But I mean, there was a lot of information that I didn't know beforehand and that I do know now, and I think it's going to inspire people to go out and research the issue.